Hello, everybody. Welcome again. It's Friday, and it's time for another Vitruveo download. This is season 4, episode 3. I'm Nick Kalyani. I'm very happy to be here today, and we've got a lot of information to share today, a lot to update you with. So what I'm going to do is, in the interest of time, just go ahead and share my screen here and just get going. So as I mentioned, this is season 4, episode 3. It's July 19th. This is the Vitruveo download, where what we do every week is we review the events of the past week, and then we tell you what's coming up in the next week. So without further ado, let's get going with our first topic, which is usually and always protocol. So two quick snippets of information there. One is that there's been no changes to the protocol to date. We did say that we had a cutoff date that if we couldn't get changes made, we would defer them until mid-August, given all the things that are happening in the ecosystem. And that's exactly what we are going to do. We will not make any changes to the protocol until mid-August. Currently, we have a slightly higher number of nodes. We have 334 nodes sealing blocks on the network, and that's going really well. We have a stable network, and we have no reason to change it at the moment. So we'll wait until all the DEX launch, etc., is done, and then when things settle out a little bit, we will go ahead and go into the protocol change, which I'll remind you, the impetus for that is that we want to reset the transaction volume counter on rebasing. So we'll start getting rebasing there. All right. Our next topic, which I think is what is most important on everyone's mind, I guess it would be the second most important one. I know what the most important one is, but let's get to the second most important topic, and which is Vitru stake swap for Vibe. And for that, I'd like to welcome here on Mike. So Mike is here to join us. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Pretty good. We've spent so much time on Zoom. I feel like I've been with you in person.
Yeah.
So we've made some decisions, and we are looking to the community to help us with some other decisions. So why don't I present the decisions we have made, and then I'll turn it over to you, and you can talk a little bit about what we are seeking to do. All right.
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right. So our first decision point is when does this happen? So let me switch my slides. Here we go. We are targeting Sunday, July 21st, 9 a.m. PST, 4 p.m. UTC, and the block number is 4653047. Please validate that and let me know if we've got that incorrect. But that's what we are targeting for the Vitru stake swap for Vibe. That's when we go active. Now, there's a few things that have to happen between now and then. One is scope is being updated. The Vibe contract is being updated. All of that is happening at warp speed. What I expect to do is deploy that scope UI with the changes on how it will work by tomorrow. So you will have plenty of time to kind of tinker with the UI and say, okay, and it's actually, don't expect anything complicated. It's a straightforward form. Here are the fields. Just fill them out with the numbers you have and hit go. That's it. There's no bells and whistles on that form, right? So we're going to have that going, but the button will be disabled until that block number. But you will have access to it. So that's the first thing. It might even be available today. It depends on how stable it can be. I'll do my best to get it out today. But more realistically, it's tomorrow. All right, with that, and then the next thing I'm going to put up here is a link. Mike, I believe you just posted about it on Discord. So tell us more about this. What's going on here?
Okay. So first off, thanks for all those that had a chance to get in some of the voting. We've really tried to improve the communication over the last couple of weeks between what's going on with the team and obviously what's going on with the OGs, the investors, and the creators. And it's been a little bumpy at first, but I think we're getting into a rhythm where we're trying to disseminate as much information as possible and make the community feel heard through suggestions, concerns, that sort of thing. Nick and I meet every day. We talk through a lot of what's going on in the community. And especially when it comes to important decisions like staking, and we have a short of supply on Vibe, we're really trying to understand how to best set this up for success so that everybody can participate and nobody has an unfair advantage, say a whale or a smaller holder or any type of advantage. So we're really trying to be impartial with this and make it as simple as possible without getting too complex. It's not easy because when you help one type of group, the other type of group doesn't get the help, and so it's kind of a balancing act. But thanks for the feedback anyway that we got on the Discord from the voting yesterday. I don't know if it was that helpful because it was cut right down the middle.
Even like we're laughing about it. It's like, what is this? 50-50 exactly.
I was like, of course it's 50-50. But I do want you guys to know that we look at every single comment. Many of you have DM'd me and given me feedback privately. Every single thing that gets posted, anything that I'm tagged on gets added to a list, and Nick and I review every single thing, and we try to post updates in Discord so that the community is well aware of what's going on. Obviously, there's certain things that have priorities over others. So obviously, when we have a deadline like this weekend with the July 23rd push, some of the things get pushed back a little bit. That doesn't mean that they're not on the list anymore. It goes into a follow-up section. And then Nick and I review the follow-up section, and everything is designated by priority. So in the sense of what is massively important for the blockchain as a whole, that's the first priority, then investors, then individual holders or individual requests. So we try to make clear distinctions on what the clear vision is, how to get things done as quickly as possible within the limited resources that we have as a community, and get things done. I mean, ultimately, that's the goal. In terms of the Vibe staking post that we did today, the thought process behind this is that we really want to try to get as accurate information as we possibly can. I know that some people, more than some, a lot of you have expressed interest in seeing if we can find a way to stake the airdrop APR, the funds that are staked in there, the Vitru that's staked in there. Obviously, it's a locked contract. There's not much we can do about it. However, there is a workaround that Nick and I explored. So that's one of the reasons why we really need everybody to fill out the link, the form that's in the Discord link under minor updates. You guys can see it there. So this will be open for about 24-hour period. We're really trying to not make this optional, but we're not trying to be crazy and say, oh, this is absolutely mandatory. It just helps us get a real accurate picture of how much Vibe is going to be allocated for the staking program this weekend. And that helps us in so many different ways. You have no idea how much it helps us, not just with the community, but also with investors, VCs, that sort of thing, because obviously the liquid Vitru is a big concern for VCs. And we're trying to address that by, through this rev share program, through Vibe, and really driving more revenue to the OGs, finding more creative, methods that we can all profit from the blockchain outside of just price action. So this is something that we're really trying to figure out. So please, if you haven't already, go to the link, fill out the form. Some of you, I did mention in the Discord that some of you might have, the locked is pretty straightforward. You've got, the locked portion that's tied to your core token or your core NFT. That's pretty straightforward. However, liquid, you might have multiple wallets. So just try to do an estimate based on, hey, I've got, 5 wallets totaling maybe 10,000 Vitru. My plan is to allocate 75% of that to Vibe, and I'm going to allocate it this way. I'm going to put it under the liquid section in the form. I'm going to put 100% in 5-year, or I'm going to do a tiered approach, which is maybe, 2,000 in this year, 2,000 in this year, 2,000 in this year. And then at least that way, we're going to have the data that we need to run the calculations and figure out how much supply we have available. And that will also give us a clear picture of how much liquid Vitru will be on the streets after the staking program. And then we can figure out what to do with that so that we're set up for success moving into or after post July 23rd, which is going to be critical. So hopefully all this makes sense. if you guys do have any questions, we can kind of cover them in the FAQ or in the Q&A after this, after Nick's presentation. But I just wanted to expand on kind of why we're doing this. And I know there's been a crap ton of minor updates, and I know that can kind of be frustrating, but we're really trying to fix the communication. I'd rather over communicate than under communicate, just so that everybody's well informed and everybody's questions and concerns, everybody feels heard. So that's the goal. But yeah, so everything's pretty straightforward in the minor updates. So you guys can circle back and check that out if you haven't already.
Great. Mike, I have two things to address. One is we have a lot of new creators in our ecosystem. They have Vitru. And what I would like to do is sometime tomorrow, we'll do another live, and I'd love for you to join me where we can go over step by step what they need to do in order to stake their Vitru for Vibe. So it's going to represent a small portion of the overall Vitru that is there, but want to make sure that artists who have earned some of the Vitru have an opportunity to also earn Vibe and have lifetime rev shares. So we'll do that. And the other thing is, you've got your finger on the pulse of the community. I'd love for you to kind of give us a general sense of how people are feeling. What is the mood, and where we are going with the community.
It's great. I mean, we have an amazing community. We really do. And I'm not just blowing smoke. We actually have a lot of really, really smart people in the community with different backgrounds, both creative backgrounds as well as, tech backgrounds, and just overall great people that are really trying to figure this thing out and excited about getting it on board. Leading up to 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of frustration in the community. I've been a holder since pre-sale in our previous project, and a fairly large holder. And then I've weathered the storm just like everybody else. So I empathize and sympathize with all the frustrations that the community had in regards to trying to get updates. You're very active, Nick, for a CEO, doing weekly AMAs for a year, being so consistent in that, which has been awesome. But there's still a lot of anxiety on how are we going to do? What does this look like? Are we going to be okay? And that sort of thing. And we as a community, we're really lacking that reassurance, and we're constant in a state of, are we going to be okay? Are we going to be okay?
Yeah.
And when just time and time again, the frustrations were building, you and I, had a discussion, and hey, let's just see what we can do to turn this thing around. The last 2 weeks have been amazing. The feedback that we're getting is people feel super grateful for the updates, and they're feeling connected with the leadership team, which has been great. That was the whole goal in the first place. Obviously, it's difficult because everybody has my bag syndrome, which is,
Yes.
I want what's good for me and what my opinion is. And I feel the same way. I have an opinion, a personal opinion, and I do have to be objective in this role where I've got to put the needs of the blockchain first. And that's hard, because you have opinions and you have your own selfish reasons why you want to do certain things. But in our talks, I've always put my needs aside and just, hey, what's the success of the blockchain? What's going to limit sell pressure? What's going to limit, getting creators on board quickly? And what's going to lead us to success? And really, that's what we have to be focused on moving forward after July 23rd. So we've got a lot of exciting updates. You and I have hammered through 30, 40 hours of meetings in the past couple of weeks. I'm really excited about what's coming ahead, and there's just so much coming ahead. I'm super pumped, and hopefully the community shares that sentiment.
Yeah, the community definitely loves you, and that's great.
Yeah.
So I think any startup, and I know a lot of people have never been a startup, but I've been through several startups. So this is normal, right? You go through, you build a product, you start building an ecosystem, and to famously use Mark Andreessen's words, you try and find product market fit, right? we are getting there. We are gradually finding product market fit, but doesn't mean there's not going to be bumps there. If you had smooth sailing, then everyone would create a startup and be a gazillionaire, but that doesn't happen. Why? Because it's hard. It's incredibly hard. And I'm actually very proud of the fact that I have managed to, for one whole year, do these Friday updates, and I actually enjoy them now. It's become my routine. I wear red, to celebrate our service men and women, and really, it's become like a completely inseparable part of my life at this point. I love doing these updates and getting feedback from the community. And as I went through fire at the beginning, and not to say that it's we are home, we are out of the woods, but I can see the future. I can see very clearly now that the vision that we've been working toward is coming together in a very tangible way, and I think it's really especially with what's been happening this week with the artists, and we'll talk about that in a second. It's just fantastic, and I'm loving it. But I can't thank you enough for the support you've been giving me, and really opened up not just a channel. It's a massive pipeline of communication you've opened up with the community, and it is really good because our as it says here on the slide, I guess I will share it back. It's data driven decision making. Yeah, we are not making decisions based on whim or fancy. It's based upon data, and I love that. So thanks, Mike. I really appreciate you. And
Yeah, you're welcome.
let's do this again tomorrow and walk people through what steps they're going to take, etc., and answer more questions specifically about vibe staking, especially about the creator community. And we'll do it at the exact same time tomorrow. So if you're here, we started at 10 PST, which is 5 UTC. We'll just do it again at that exact same time tomorrow, and we'll get going. So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you again, Mike. Appreciate you. And I'm going to drop you
Sounds
off
good.
now and continue with the rest, and you can go on and enjoy your day.
All right,
no,
sounds good.
you got-
Bye,
you got
everybody.
work to
Take
do.
care.
You got work to do.
See you guys.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. So that was it on Vibe, and you will hear more about it tomorrow. Also, I have a ton of other topics to go over, and I'm seeing a lot of questions, but I'm pretty much have answered all your questions in the course of this session, or they will be. So hang tight, hang tight. They're coming. But first, the super chat. All right. Next up, I want to take care of some organizational updates. So, it's been a year now, and we kind of know what works and what doesn't. And one of the things that is sort of very high in my priority list is a need to revisit the organization and the DAO structure. We sort of have a DAO, but we haven't really operated like a DAO. And the reason for that is because what we initially planned was really not a good fit for where this organization is. That's neither good or bad. It's just, you plan some things and then you find out that reality is kind of different. So what we found is that the validator team has worked exceptionally well, and we want to keep growing that and keep that focused. In the past few months, 3 months in particular, the overall team has been reduced due to attrition and due to our austerity measures. So now what we need to do is our next steps are to go ahead and settle some back dues with outgoing team members. We'll do that as soon as we have figured out what those negotiated the amounts. What we're going to do is create a revised organization and DAO plan, and we're going to present that to you and execute. So that's what's coming up. Not obviously right away, but we'll do that in early August. But we want to reshape the organization for the realities that we have right now, and that might mean change in personnel and things like that. So that's coming up. All right. The next thing is I want to give a quick update on Vortex World, and let's talk about that a little bit. So we have 28,163 Vortex mints. That's growing, continuing to grow at a good steady clip like that. Now, on this one, I will admit that we have dropped the ball a little bit, by a lot, actually. So the minting is available on Neon Circus, but in terms of other features, we've had to backburner them and reprioritize them due to Wrap Vitru and Vitru store demands. They've come at us so fast, and you will see here that we've had so much new development that had to be done in order to meet some of these deadlines, that some of our deadlines and goals for Vortex World slipped, including some technical complexities. So we will resume. I'm going to get some resources on it. We'll resume on August 1st so we can properly focus. All the folks who have Vortex tokens, we owe it to them. I apologize that we are a little behind on the schedule, but we'll pick up and we'll move very, very fast. We will do 2 airdrops next week. I'll announce the dates and times. So we'll continue with that going, and we'll just pick up. It's only a few days, like basically 11 days from now. We'll pick up again, and we'll get going with all the things that we had kind of in the pipeline, but due to some technical reasons and other reasons, we couldn't get it over the finish line, if you will. So that's the story on Vortex World. And next up, let's talk about collector credits, which I know is a big issue with a lot of you. All right. So what we've been working on is addressing some of the shortcomings of the architecture of collector credits. As you know, a collector credit is an NFT token that has a nominal value of US dollars 10. Now, what happens is some of the artworks are priced pretty high, and as the contract has to process a large number of these tokens because they're only $10, right? The gas is running amok. It's going too high, and that causes the problem where you can't buy it. And I know there's at least one artwork that's priced at over 3,500 that is failing, and I think there's a few more also. So we need to address this. This is a shortcoming of the architecture that our testing did not reveal, because I think we tested artworks, etc., that were in the $1,000 range and hadn't really gone much higher. And we should have. It is admittedly a shortcoming and a mistake, but we can correct it now. So in order to correct it, we started with first principles and said, okay, if you're going to create a more efficient solution, knowing how we want to use collector credits, just to give you a historical perspective, we thought of collector credits really as gift cards, and of course with the boosters, they were airdropped en masse. But overall, we thought of it as like you buy it and you can use it, or you can give it to someone so they can go and acquire an art print or acquire an art NFT or something like that. That was the original vision behind it. But now it's time to step back and look at what can we do with a first principles approach, and that's where we have a new solution, and that say hello to VUSD, the Vitruveo stablecoin. So this is our solution for collector credits and the problems. So it is essentially a drop-in replacement for collector credits. And it is, in our testing right now, it's several orders of magnitude more gas efficient. So you can throw million or multi-million dollar artworks, and there's no issue with it. And every stablecoin needs to be collateralized, and this one is indeed collateralized by 1.5x Vitru. So there's price movement protection. As Vitru goes up and down, there isn't an adverse impact on VUSD. So how does this work? Well, the conversion will happen this weekend. Your collector credits contract will be paused. That's VCOLC is the name of it. You will have VUSD airdrop to you. It's just a standard ERC20 token. You don't need to learn anything new. It's in your wallet. You can use it, transfer it, etc. And the VUSD is going to be airdropped to all holders. VUSD is going to be airdropped for all blocked art purchases. So there's a number of you who lost collector credits because they essentially bought artworks, but then those artworks were blocked, and you will be made whole as part of this transition from collector credits to VUSD. And finally, and thank you for all the folks in Discord for reminding me, every Vortex holder is owed 1 collector credit, which translates into 10 VUSD. So you're going to have that also airdrop to you concurrently with this. So all of this happens this weekend. And when that happens, there's no change. If you go to the store right now, you will see that it already says, for example, if the price is $1,000, it'll say 1,000 credits, right? And that's exactly what it is. So as far as people shopping art go, etc., it's credits, but under the hood, it's VUSD. And we obviously, with a stable coin in place, it gives us the ability to do some interesting things also. But right now, the only solution that is VUSD is targeting is the collector credit problem with performance. And later on, we can do other things with it, because it's a general purpose stable coin on the blockchain. It will always represent $1. So this is again, say hello to VUSD. It starts this weekend, and we'll notify you on Discord as soon as it's there. The collector credit contract will be paused, so you can't do any activities on it. No one will be short anything. Your entire stash of collector credits converts into VUSD. The dollar value will be exactly identical, but you will be able to go and buy more expensive artworks. We appreciate that. Sorry for the delay in that. It took a little bit of time to figure out what exactly was happening, but once we figured it out, we've got this solution going. So I'm grateful for that. All right, next up, let's talk about the thing that all of us want to talk about, wrapped Vitru. All right, but first, a sip of chai. All right, so I'm a bit wired. I'll tell you why. I had a 12:30 a.m. meeting with a prospective market maker, and just decided not to sleep after that. So we've just been going on many chais. I don't know how many I've had since that time. But anyway, let's talk about Wrap Vitru. So DEX launch on track for July 23. Everything is going well. We are in the process of doing some liquidity modeling. We have limited liquidity, and we want to make sure we use it wisely. We are going to have basically a plan laid out for the first few weeks, and then for the first few months, and so on, and figure out exactly how this is going to work. As I mentioned last week, we're going to have a new Wrap Vitru contract, and we're going to put the final touches on it. It is going to have a circuit breaker with cooldowns and limits. All right. So I just want to be clear about that. What it means is when it's going to monitor the price action on the DEX, and when it sees a price trending down a certain way, it is going to start imposing cooldowns and limits on the ability to wrap Vitru. You need to realize that there is only one reason to wrap Vitru. It is to go and trade it, right? There is no other purpose for it. No, everything else is native Vitru. So by having these circuit breaker changes right in the wrap Vitru contract, what we can do is we can see the Vitru price go steady and manage it well in a decentralized way. So that's important. We don't want to have manual controls there. We just say, okay, here's the contract, here's the rules, this is how it's going to work. And after 60 to 90 days, if we have good stability, then we even remove the circuit breaker and let it go. But the important thing is, this is our flagship token. This is the main coin. This represents the future of this blockchain, and we want to protect it. We want to ensure that we have a long and very successful future. And so we are going to ease into Wrap Vitru using these beats. So it's only a few days from now, so expect that we're going to be in many kind of sessions just like this, and we'll keep talking through them and give you all the information. So everything is available. We'll communicate a lot and make sure that the information is there. I don't have an exact time, but by Monday we will announce the time for the DEX launch to occur. All right. So now a lot of people have been asking about the claims freeze. So just wanted to put that here on the record. So that is also going to occur on Sunday, July 21st, and that's 5 a.m. PST, 12 p.m. UTC, block number 4650167. All right. So that is, what does a claims freeze mean? It just means that in scope, you got a claim button on your Nexus, your Maxim, your Dreamer, your Trooper NFT. So when you click that button, as of this block, it will be frozen, and we'll reactivate it. I actually forget the exact date. I believe we had said November 1st. Yes. I might be wrong on that. I will go back and look that up. But whatever that last date was for it to be reactivated, at that time it's going to be reactivated, and nothing is lost. Everything will accrue to that point, and you hit the claim button then, and you will be able to get it all right. So this is just a temporary measure in order to protect a significantly large drip during the period when we are trying to manage the market. Now, if we see that the circuit breaker and the cooldowns, etc., are working, then it is entirely possible that we might just let the freeze go earlier, right? This is all about data, real-time data, monitoring the situation, and based upon it, making decisions. I see Mike posted November 1st. Yes, so thank you. It had slipped my mind. So we would lift it on November 1st, but we keep open the option to lift it sooner if we see that the circuit breaker contract is working better, is working well. All right. So that is it on Wrap Vitru. It's not a lot of news, but it is a lot of news in the sense that everything's happening. We've been working our way to this, and everything is the planning is in place, and we are going ahead with it. Okay. Now let's talk about Vitru Suite. This is something really, really exciting for me because it's been a sort of a dream, a vision. Prior to starting off with Vitruveo, I spent almost 2 years working with artists in the ecosystem here in Web3, and I saw exactly what challenges they faced. I saw the pain points, and it was crystal clear to me that there is no future for Web3 art unless technologists and creators work together and create a synergistic solution. Add a third component to that, crypto investors, and you've got basically a very potent solution for Web3 art and the ability to actually grow the ecosystem by several orders of magnitude. I believe Vitru Suite is that solution. We've worked very hard to really address each and every problem that artists have out there. The number one problem is artists are not marketers. And with Vitru Suite, we've created a platform where artists spend anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to consign their artwork, and then they're done. They go back to their studio and just create art. We do not require artists to do any marketing, any sales, or any of that. The whole platform is designed to do that for them, right? So let's look at what happened so far this week. So first of all, I want to thank the artist community. It's been a fantastic response. I love you all, and I really, really respect that even though we are in beta, I remind everyone we are still a beta platform. We are tinkering with it, we are building it as we are going along here and releasing things. So things break, things don't work, but people have been incredibly patient with us, and I'm really, really grateful for that. Also, I will remind artists that Vitru Suite is only for the early adopters. All right, it's for the artists who are okay with a platform that's in beta and kind of growing. And as you've heard in the course of this presentation, Vitru is not yet liquid. It will be on the 23rd. But as an artist, you need to step back and think about what this platform represents and what your relationship is going to be with this platform long term. I can tell you that right now, if you are on Vitru and using Vitru Studio, etc., and listing your artwork with the intent of getting cash to pay your rent or your bills, you will be disappointed, because what's going to happen on July 23rd and going forward a little bit is when there's a new coin like that, it's going to be very volatile, and it is not the way you imagine Ethereum or Solana, etc. Those have been around for years. They've had time to stabilize quite a bit, and even then they're still quite volatile. But just take that volatility and make it, multiply it by 100 times, and that's what's going to be experienced. So as an artist, if you've earned Vitru right now, I would strongly advise you to not think of it as, okay, I'm going to liquidate it on the 23rd. First of all, that might not be possible given the sheer volume that's there, but also you'll be doing yourself a disservice. So if I was an artist, I would pay attention to the opportunities you have for staking and for getting vibe with your Vitru, because that represents long-term sustainable income for you, not just a one-hit wonder kind of thing, right? So think about it carefully, pay attention to it, and really look at July 23rd coming up as okay. The coin is liquid, but you don't want to go into that as an artist. You probably want to step back and take a look at the whole ecosystem. Anyway, with that said, again, thank you very much. I just want to articulate these things about liquidity and about beta, etc., because one of the things that artists are accustomed to is they come to a platform and they expect everything to just work perfectly. Well, it's important to realize that Vitruveo blockchain is a blockchain for creators. We've purpose built it for you, but it is also in development right now. So do not ascribe, do not expect it to behave like an adult. It's a toddler right now. It's still growing and going through it. So recalibrate your mental model of Vitruveo to that, and everything will be fine. Expect problems, expect features to be incomplete, to be developed with your feedback over time, and grow with us. Come give us your feedback and grow with us, because this is your blockchain. There is no giant corporation behind this. This is a community-led project, and it's very important to us that we get feedback from everybody. We always get feedback, incorporate that feedback, and move forward. All right. So now one of the challenges we have is that people have responded in very large numbers to us opening up the floodgates, so to say, to allow multiple artworks to be consigned on Studio, and also a variable price. So what's happened is our moderation queue has become very long. Now, we don't have, you might imagine like, oh, it's like Facebook or something. There's like a building full of moderators or whatever. No, we've got less moderators than you can count on one hand, right? Very few people, and we are doing the best we can. We are and it takes time, right? What the reason, let's step back into why we have a reason for moderation. The reason is that we had at the early part a lot of fakes, a lot of scammers, etc., and we want to keep the platform clean. So this is for your protection. Now, I totally realize that some genuine, authentic artists are caught in the middle of that, right? So when you submit an appeal, you can't expect us to respond same day or even in the next day or whatever. Patience is called for here. We'll deal with everything in good time, but we have a tiny team, and we do not have the ability to respond instantly and to be able to just give you immediate feedback and things like that. So if you are not a bad actor and you've been caught up and you've been blocked or things like that, appeal. But then hold on, you can't keep reappealing and things like that, because it just means that there's more work for us to deal with. Remember, we are a small team. Just be patient, and things will sort themselves out in good time. So patience is the key word here. Everybody should take a deep breath and just step back. Everything will be okay. Now, in order to address the speed of moderation, we are urgently working on one feature that I think will make everyone happy. Is if you've been already moderated, what has happened is that your vault has already been created. A vault is a smart contract. Every artist on Vitruveo gets their own smart contract. It's where everything you ever create is minted from. It's where all the funds come in, and other uses in the future that we'll talk about as we get to them. So the first artwork, when it's consigned, has this heavy burden of also having to create your smart contract and linking it with your account and things like that. So what we are doing now is, if that vault is already created, we know that you are a legit artist. And so what we're going to do is we're going to auto moderate your subsequent consignments. That is a feature that is not yet active. Do not ask me when it will be active. We are working on it. It takes a little bit of time, as we are working on it to get it out there as quickly as possible. And by quickly, I mean, it's not going to take weeks. It's going to be out in a few days. All right. And when that happens, we will work in batch mode, and maybe every 15 to 30 minutes, your consigned artworks will be auto moderated and start showing up on the site. All right. So takeaway from here, please be patient with us. We are not a giant company with lots of people, etc. We have community volunteers. This is a community project. This is not a corporate funded project. It's a community project, and we're all volunteers trying to do the best we can. So please be patient. All right. With that said, I do want to look at search here. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but there's been a huge number of beautiful artworks that have been consigned. I'm really excited about this. And for the first time, you have to go a few pages in before you start seeing red dots. But don't worry, our community has had some challenges with the collector credits. We're solving them, and they'll play catch up, and we'll be able to see more red dots soon. A red dot represents an artwork that's been sold. So some really great artworks here. Really excited to see artists stepping up. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Very grateful. Now, as artists, one of the things you want to do is be a little smart also about how you price your artwork here in Vitruveo. Every purchaser of a booster NFT, essentially a crypto investor in our ecosystem, has collector credits, which are now going to be VUSD. The amount that each person got was $150. And so the Genesis pricing we had of $150 was no accident, right? So many people have multiple boosters, and so they have multiples of 150. They have 300, 450, so on and so forth. But it's always a multiple of 150. So now add to that we recently released a Vibe, and we have started adding platform fee. The platform fee is 2%, and that gets added on to the buyer. And so what we have is a situation now where a number of folks who have $150 are unable to buy artworks, which are also exactly $150, because with the fees, it becomes $153 or close approximation thereof, right? So as an artist, I would encourage you to think about your audience, your buyers, and price accordingly. Now, you certainly are always welcome and free to price your artwork high, but remember that this is not an ecosystem of seasoned art collectors. Your audience here is crypto investors. So I would calibrate my pricing accordingly and look at it as folks who need to have a gentle introduction to your art. This should not be a money grab. This is not a money grab. This is a pathway to long-term sustainable income. So think like that. Don't think about your one artwork selling for a lot. That is a terrible way to think about it, and not the intent of Vitruveo. Vitruveo is about creating a steady state, long-term income for you. And the way we are going to get there is by not relying on a small group of collectors, which is what has happened everywhere else. And you can see what's happened there. The marketplaces are shutting down because that doesn't work. The way things are going to work is if we can create hundreds of thousands, even millions of art appreciators, right? So we have to ease into that. You cannot just cold turkey, just go in there and do that. So I'm encouraging you to think strategically as artists and don't think about your one sale, all right? Now that you know the lay of the land, you know that there are collectors here, they have collector credits, they are in multiples of 150. There is a fee of 2%. Be smart about your pricing, and don't think tactically about your one artwork. Think strategically about the long term, your presence in this ecosystem as an artist, your ability to rise to the upper echelons, and really be recognized for your art. So think about it. Think about those things, and don't be in a hurry to just put as high a price as you can, because sometimes the way to steady long-term income is to incrementally grow your pricing instead of a shock price of like a huge number initially. Yeah, you might get that one sale or whatever, but it is not repeatable. What you want to think about is repeatable, all right? Repeatable, sustainable income. The whole point of what we are doing with Vitruveo, with Vibe, etc., is about getting to the point where you have, and I kid you not, I think about this word, a salary from your art, where you can regularly count on a certain amount of funding being available to you. But that takes time. It's not easy. It's really, really difficult. And so think about it. Be strategic in your pricing. I'm happy to have, if artists want, and I'm happy to have X Space, etc., and talk a little bit about strategic pricing. But if you go and look at how products enter the market, first of all, you have to look at competition. You have to study your market. You have to study your audience, and what their appetite is. So you can't. This is not an audience of seasoned art collectors who are saying, "Oh, let me buy this piece for $1 million. Let me buy this for $500,000." All right. So think about that, please. And all right, but otherwise, this is going really, really great. Really, really excited about that. One change we are making in search that is already ready, but the Brazil team, we made a commitment that we would not release any new features on Friday, because that would mean that if it's broken, then they have to work the weekend. But I want to show you that feature in QA because it's really exciting. And that feature is recently sold. So we will now have a scroller that shows the recently sold artworks, so that because otherwise they kind of get buried. So this is going to be available on Monday. We are really excited about this feature because it gives us the ability to present what was recently sold and keep the excitement going. All right. So that is one other thing. All right, let's go look at what else we got cooking here. Let's see. Let's look at some stats. I love numbers. I absolutely love numbers. And here, let's talk about what's happened so far. So we have 2,722 total artworks in the mix right now. Of those, 1,724 have already been consigned. And of those, active right now are 1,468. Of course, it's a dynamic system. Things are changing by the minute, so it could be different. The total portfolio value of all artworks listed is currently $3.3 million. So this is what we are seeing right now. As I told you, the artists are starting to respond. And I had told you that there were 3 features that were holding a lot of artists back. One was the inability to consign multiple artworks. Check, done. 2, the inability to set custom pricing. Check, done. The third one is liquidity, or a way to ensure that the funds they received can grow over time or can be invested. Coming July 23rd. That will be checked there. All right. So with that, we can see artists recognizing the value proposition we have. It's very simple. We are literally solving exactly every problem that artists face in the ecosystem. So why wouldn't they want to use our platform? It is, of course, also an open system. We are a creator. We are a blockchain for creators. If creators don't use it, then what? I'm not sure what we would do. All right. So the average price is about $217. All right. And so that's a good snapshot of the numbers we have right now. But being the numbers guy, I have more numbers for you. All right. Let's go with how many artworks have been sold. So far, we've sold 1,179 artworks on our platform. The highest sale so far has been 1,050. And I know that will be blown away the moment we have the USD and the ability to get past the errors. I know people are itching for that, and it is happening. So, and the total sales volume has been just north of $250,000, 255,838. All right. So now for the Genesis, we did not collect a platform fee. That was the deal we had made. But now we are starting to collect the platform fee, and we are at $2,897 there. Now, all of you know that this is also visible in scope. Actually, let me see if I can bring that up here. I don't know if I'm authenticated, but maybe I am. I am indeed. So here, when you go to your Vibe NFT section, you can see a live counter, which updates every time there is a sale, and the 2% Vitru is fed directly into the Vibe contract and is available. I apologize that the claim button is not yet live, but as almost all of you have figured out, it's as easy as going to the Vibe contract and clicking a button, and it works the same way as claim. Well, I'll get that updated over the weekend, so you don't have to do that. You can just click the button here. But those of you who want to claim, make your claims in order to be able to stake them, I want to make sure that it is available to you. I recognize that that's important to a lot of folks, and so we'll do that. All right. So that's the lay of the land right now. We've got a good steady traction going. This is just week 1. I think we'll see more as people start to understand how Vitruveo works, and people start to understand the huge difference between a marketplace and what we are building here. So I'll just enumerate some of the differences because I know there's a lot of creators in the audience and it would be helpful for them. The first and foremost thing is to remember that Vitruveo is a blockchain for creators. So just like Ethereum, Solana, etc., we are a blockchain. We are not, and I repeat, we are not a marketplace. In fact, the model that we are building on Vitruveo is that we can have thousands of marketplaces. Anyone will be able to come in about 45 days and click a button and create a marketplace. We have artists consign their artwork. You're used to using the term mint. For us, minting happens at the point of purchase, and that too only if it's an NFT. If someone wants to use your artwork to just make a print, or they want to remix it and you want to license it that way. So we have on-chain licenses, we have on-chain metadata, we have a lot of things that are on-chain that don't exist anywhere else on any other chain, because on other chains, ERC 721 is literally, as far as your art is concerned, a number on the blockchain. There is no other data in other blockchains about your artwork that is actually saved on chain. It is saved on IPFS or Arweave or other networks like that. So on Vitruveo, we fixed that and are putting things on chain, and that's called consignment. So you do not need to have minted an NFT in order to preserve your artwork. When you consign, it is actually already on the blockchain and it's there forever. And more importantly, it is updatable. So when your artwork wins an award or when it's shown at an exhibition, you can go back and update that on-chain data. So that is the reference point for you. And when an artwork is in fact minted by a buyer, when they license your artwork as an NFT, it is minted from your vault, and your vault is your smart contract. And so no matter what project you work on Vitruveo, where the sales come from, the artwork is always 100% of the time minted from your smart contract. There is no marketplace smart contract or anything like that. So you are always in control of the provenance of your artworks. So those are some kind of important differences. And the third and most important difference I kind of showed you is our search engine. So because we don't have the artworks being consigned in silos, right? Each marketplace is a silo. You do it on Foundation, or you do it on Manifold, or you do it somewhere. Their own that's its own silo. But here, all artworks are on the blockchain. They are all accessible, and the metadata is very granular. So as those of you who have consigned have seen, we've got extremely detailed metadata. There's a reason for that. The reason for that is discoverability. One of the problems that exists in Web3 art is it is very difficult to search and find artwork with a precision. And this is already there in every other industry, right? You go to Amazon and search for a product, you can search by so many criteria. You go to a hotel website and try and get a hotel room, you can search by so many criteria. This needs to be there in Web3 art, and we've built exactly that. Now, the cool thing about it is you can take that search criteria and take a subset of it and say that I want to create a marketplace only for this kind of art. And because all the artwork is already there on the blockchain and searchable, your marketplace will take minutes to create. And you can mark up that price, and you can assume the role of an OpenSea or a Foundation, etc. You can have your own marketplace and market other people's work, etc. And you can make some money off it. Now, this is not for artists because, as I said, artists don't need to do any marketing. This is for what we would call in industry parlance affiliates. So there are lots of folks who would love to market other people's work and make some coin in the process, and that's who we are targeting. So if you have a niche audience that likes a certain kind of a topic, then you would create a marketplace of artwork that is liked by that niche audience, and that's where the distribution channels come and grow. Amazon does this, Target does this, lots of retail companies do it. They rely on affiliates to kind of make more people aware of their products, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to have lots of different distribution channels. The last thing I'll leave you with is Vitru Search. Is currently we haven't finished it yet, but it is very shortly going to be integrated with Google Sitemap. Google Sitemap essentially is a way for websites to feed their data directly into Google search engine. So your artwork and all its granular metadata will be available for searching. So that's what is in store, and it's coming up very, very fast. All right, let's go on to our next topic here, and that is Vibe. So I've been talking about Vibe a lot the past few weeks. It's the Vitruveo income building engine. It's essentially a token, and if you happen to hold that token, you are eligible to receive revenue share for life from that token. So if you look here in my in Vitruscope, which is the tool we use to look at it, I've got my vibes in here. They're really test vibes. And this is the number. It's going to keep growing. We have a lot of places here left to fill. And if you have a certain number of vibes, you have a certain number of Vitru that comes your way. And you can claim it, and it's there forever. You can claim it as often. You can claim it daily, hourly, whenever anyone sells anything on Vitruveo, there is a fee that comes in and you claim it. So as an for artists in particular, you're not used to making money when someone else sells art. Well, on Vitruveo, you do that because we are designing this as an ecosystem. We want the whole ecosystem to thrive and succeed together. So that's what Vibe is about. You can learn more about Vibe at vitru.xyz/Vibe. You can get your hands on some Vibe on Sunday by staking or swapping the Vitru you might have earned. Now, a number of you artists, if you haven't already, go to, and I'll put up a banner here for you. You can go to scope.vitruveo.xyz and connect your wallet, because a number of you were already airdropped Vibe and also Vortex tokens and Vitru. So if you have participated in prior projects, you would have that. Another way to acquire a Vibe is if for every 2 Vortex purchase in a single transaction, you can get a Vibe. So our partner, Neon Circus, is a marketplace. It's neoncircus.xyz. They're amazing. We are very lucky to have them as a partner, but they have started to list Vortex. They have listed also Vibe, and most recently they listed Booster. So if you are one of the 21 Booster artists, your artwork is now available on this marketplace and is available for trading. So this is amazing and very, very cool. Also, the Vibe is available here also. You can acquire it this way, although I think the prices are a bit high. Yeah. So those are some of the ways in which you can acquire a Vibe. But really, the easiest way is to stake or swap. We have a finite quantity there, so we'll see how things go on Sunday. All right. Last but not the least, I want to reemphasize that Vibe is about the whole ecosystem. We firmly believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. This is an open source mentality that I bring, and I live by it, and I want to make sure that all of us can be very successful together. And that concludes this session here. I'll put up the download poet for you to collect. So please collect it. We will soon wrap up the season. And when we do, we will announce prizes. I know we've got to do that for the past season. We'll get to that as quickly as we can. And with that out of the way, I will start looking through here and take some questions, and we'll get going. So there's a question here about a Kara partnership. So I've tried to reach out through multiple channels, but have not been able to get a hold of it. If anyone, in the audience here can introduce and do a warm intro to Kara leadership, would love to talk about them, because the synergies between our platforms are incredible. All right. Iris says VUSD will be new coin for artists get paid. Artists will not even realize that there's VUSD going on. It's always Vitru. Vitru is the utility coin of the blockchain, and that's how it is. This VUSD is really at the front end. Right now, it's for a replacement for collector credits, but very soon we'll have a buy page there to enable people to buy with credit cards, etc., so that when they go to the store page, there's no difference. It says $150 or $1,000 in credits, and that's how much you would have. So we use the term credit for throughout the store, and under the hood, it's actually VUSD. All right, I'm seeing a lot of great comments. I appreciate that. Any thoughts on having an option for part of Vibe revenue being paid in collector credits, VUSD, for a discounted rate? Well, we could actually do better than that. What we can do is I'll enable you to get VUSD directly using Vitruveo. So we'll get to that. Haven't thought through the mechanics of that yet and the details, but we'll get to that. Francis has been in crypto 6 years. No other project can touch what we have in Nick and Vitruveo. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Bidding for arts will be great. Yes, indeed. All right, yeah. So we've covered a lot of ground here, and I hopefully have answered so many questions here that those are all the key questions that I saw earlier. And like I said, we pay attention, and thanks to Mike who goes through and very conscientiously gets the top questions, and we collate them and figure out which needs to be answered here. Platform fee is 2897, but scope shows 1457, not including 100K. What am I missing? I am not sure about that. It's probably because the contract was off and on at times and might not be completely synced up. But we'll make sure it's synced up. And those numbers are coming straight from, one is from a database and one is from a contract. So there is a slight discrepancy. Of course, that will resolve that discrepancy and make sure it's good. The intent is, of course, we have to take care of the Genesis artists also. I believe the database number might have just added a 2% to everything, but not done a cutoff with where we started charging it. So I think that might actually, in fact, I believe that is actually the reason. But I will double check that and get back to everyone. Would you be planning some features to make it easier to offer physical paintings as well through Vitruveo, where the collectors, if interested, can opt to claim the physical art and lays? Yes. So the way we intend to do this, is to make a different type of license available. So right now we have 4 licenses available. We have a NFT license, a print license, a stream license, and a remix license. So we'll add a physical art license. So it might be that all you're doing is selling physical art. You don't have to collect an NFT of it, but it might be that we have a license that is both. That has the ability for you to dual price things, where you have an NFT price and an NFT plus physical price, or a physical only price. So you could have a license like that. So the reason we've created a very flexible licensing architecture is because we firmly believe that your art should be monetizable for the rest of your life, again and again and again and again. With the NFT model, it's one and done, and that's terrible. As an artist, you have to keep cranking out new artworks. But if we allow your entire body of work to constantly be making you recurring revenue, it's much better. So we'll create this license and we'll make that available. So certainly we'll be able to address that need. Nelson asks, thanks for the updates. Fantastic. Thank you. What's your vision for art trading beyond the initial sale? Right. So this is a great question. So one of the things that we are very firmly set on is that the subsequent, the resale, the secondary sales, etc., also have royalties built in. That's how our contract is architected right now. So every artist will have a default value. I believe it's going to be 10%. I might be wrong about that. We'll go back and check. But you can go and override that and say that here's, and you can do it for different artworks also, but you can have a general sort of royalty number. We also have royalty at 2 levels. We have a flat royalty, and then we have a threshold royalty. What threshold royalty means is that if someone is going to, on the secondary market, sell your artwork for many multiples of what they originally bought it, we want you as an artist to also get a percentage of those multiples over the base price that they paid. So that's an important feature. And as we release that feature, when we release it, we'll get to it. But right now, the important thing is we need to have a marketplace where the secondary trading can occur. I already initiated talks with Neon Circus, and they are keen on bringing up a marketplace for art. So we'll work with them, and they are. You see, we can't just have any marketplace and plop it into Vitruveo and make it work, because all the marketplaces out there are designed to work with their own assets, their own artworks, right? No one has, like, for example, there is no horizontal every artwork on Ethereum store, right? Or on Solana. That's uniquely Vitruveo. So in order to do that, we have to have unique marketplace that does that. And so thankfully, the Neon Circus team, which is great, by the way, is willing to work with us. And we will work on creating a secondary marketplace for art very quickly. That is definitely in the plan. I think we should get 2% fee of all Vortex as income for the Vibe, especially the fact that Vortex was part of earning Vibe tokens. What do you think? Well, it's not a bad idea. We can think about it. Yeah, certainly want to consider. I'll make a note of it and run the numbers. And say, so Vortex sales 2% goes to Vibe. I have made note of it, and we'll go there. Yeah. All right. Is it possible to have a feature where it can tell us how much an artwork was sold for? Well, I believe that, I mean, on search, it's already visible, right? On search, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the QA thing here. So this is going to be available and on Monday, and you'll be able to tell how much it was sold for. Can we unstake the stake Vitru 50% APR, etc., to stake it for Vibe? So as Mike said, we're doing that whole data gathering. We have the form set up, etc., in order for you to provide us data and decide how much inventory we have for Vibe. So based upon the data we gather, and I can see already in the form that lots of people have responded. So thank you for that. And so based upon that, we'll make a decision on if we have enough inventory to enable that to happen. So we'll be doing that. All right. Kelly says, how is Warpcast coming and how is Kara Talks going? I think I indirectly answered both those. We've deferred everything Vortex related to August. And I also requested an introduction to Kara because I've tried to reach out many times. All right. Let's see. There's I'm sorry, I'm reading through some of these questions. So here's a question about the Vortex. Is it 10 VUSD per holder wallet or per VTX? So it's per Vortex. So if you minted 25 Vortexes, you're going to get 25 multiplied by 10, 250 VUSD. Also, is the beginning circulating supply approximately 20 million or 60 million? So when you have an ERC20 token, you can implement the concept of circulating supply very easily. Like you can mint as you go. When you have a blockchain, it's a little different. The entire 60 million initial supply has already been sort of created. I don't want to use the term minted because that implies a smart contract. It's a protocol. It's already there. But a lot of it is just sitting in the allocation wallets, if you will, and a lot of it is currently sitting in the core NFT contract. And very soon, after Sunday, I believe it'll all be sitting in the Vibe staking contract. So we won't know until probably end of the day on Sunday or maybe even Monday about how much free floating Vitru there's going to be. We believe it will be in the low single digit millions. That's kind of what we are aiming for. So most of it is either unallocated yet or already staked. So Munda says the reason is the fees you show in dollar, but scope is shown in Vitru for. Okay, this was around that. I was wrong then. It wasn't about the cutoff for the fees. It was just simply the unit. Thank you for clarifying that. Tina loves the physical license idea as an option. I think that is going to be really critical for us to get Web 2 artists, people who are not yet in Web 2 into Web 3. I'll just share some insights into what we are planning there. What we want to do is essentially have a very smooth onboarding process. And one of the ways to do that is to work with some galleries initially, and have all the artists come in at the same time. So what we would do is really have a workshop first and help educate them on what to do, how to do it, etc. And then potentially have the gallery consign artworks in bulk, and then the artists can go and edit their work and customize it and add their own little touches to it, etc. That's one model. I think we'll have multiple different models of onboarding, but what we want to do is make it super simple. I'll tell you one thing that will not be there for all the artists we onboarding. They will not hear the term crypto. They will not hear the term wallet. They will definitely not hear the term secret phrase or private key or mnemonic passphrase or minting or gas. They will hear none of those things. They will see a user experience where they will work with an email address, and behind the scenes, it's all crypto. We have custodial wallet, everything under the hood. And when they are ready, they can peel back the covers and say, okay, I actually am already a Web3 artist. I just didn't realize it. That's the effect they're going for. We are focusing on the UX being very, very easy. So we started with Web3 artists because we had to build this thing first, right? We had to get everything going, etc. But believe me, with Web2 artists, you're not going to encounter crypto. It's crypto under the hood, but above, on the surface, it's all business as usual. All right. And LB says, would you do a public shout out for me to Garfield, the Vitruvian, and Tew for their generosity to the community? Indeed, they are extremely generous. I believe that they helped folks who needed, I think, a few extra Vitru in order to cover the fees, etc. Do that. But I think they're in general very, very helpful people and amazing people. So yes, big shout out. Thank you. I love community, and I love all the folks in our community who are stepping up and volunteering and helping to do things. And I talked about organization change. One of the things we want to do now is enable opportunities for people in the community, in our community, in the creator community, to step up and earn tokens for volunteering and helping on a consistent basis with different tasks. We want to have fewer sort of employees, if you will. Although we have Web3, we don't really have employees, but in that role, it's more about community volunteers who are regularly doing things. Doc Martin is a great example. He's helping artists there all the time, and he's a community volunteer, and he's doing exceptional. So we want more folks like that. And I know a bunch of people have reached out to me already saying, I want to volunteer. What can I do? And the challenge for us is that it is hard for us to scale up with individual like that until we have a process, and that's what I'm committed to work with. So Mike and I and a few others, we're going to work on a process to really bring this organization where it needs to be for where we are in the trajectory of our growth, right? So the Vibe Stake form asks for a Discord name. What should be entered if the holder is not on Discord? I would just enter don't have Discord. It's not validated, so that's fine. All right, going through here. Mike just sent me Kara Founder's personal contact info. Fantastic. Look at that. This is great. Problem solved. All right, I will do that. All right. So yeah, there's one thing that I did not comment on, and I apologize. It is my shortcoming. We didn't talk about the creator challenge. That form should have already been up 4 days ago, and it is not yet up. So I will work on getting that up as quickly as possible, so the creator challenge submissions can be made, and we can do. As I said, this the whole Wrap Vitru and also the collector credit problem and the need to change to USD just came out of nowhere in terms of the intensity, right? We were going with a certain pace, and that has derailed the dates on a few things, and I apologize for that. We'll bring it right back on track. Creative challenge is one of it. We'll bring it right back, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the cool entries. Let's see. I apologize if I missed some questions here. It says here, if an art is already consigned at Vitruveo Studio, can it be burnt or deleted in the long run? I'm kind of confused. Well, when you consign your artwork, you're just putting it up there for yourself. If you don't add a license, then no one else is ever going to see it. There is no reason to burn it or delete it. It just exists on the blockchain for you. You will not be able to delete it because that's the nature of the blockchain. It is not possible to go back and change the prior state. It is only possible to create new state. So when you consign an artwork, it is in the blockchain, but is there a need for it to be sold? No. Is there a need for it to be licensed by someone else and minted? No. That's your choice. So if you don't add any licenses, it will be perfectly fine. All right, I think that's about the end of the questions there. A lot of questions there, but I'm kind of running out of steam here. So I think I'm going to wrap it up with that. I appreciate everybody. We'll be talking again at 10 a.m. PST tomorrow. We'll go through some of the Vitruveo Scope up enhancements in preparation for the Vibe staking. And meanwhile, keep your questions coming in Discord. I encourage all artists to not ask me questions directly on X or DM me. You should go to our community website, sorry, not website, a community group, which is on Telegram. That's dreamverse.vitruveo.xyz. I don't respond. I don't even acknowledge questions that are support questions on X because we don't have a support organization like that. We rely on community support. So please go to dreamverse.vitruveo.xyz if you have any questions, and then a helpful community member will be able to give you an answer. But please kindly don't ask me or other members of the team questions directly on X or DM us with questions. It's not scalable with thousands of artists doing that. All right. So anyway, this is great. I think this was fun. Lots of information here. But with that, I'm gonna sort of sign off and see you all again tomorrow. So thank you and have a great weekend. Bye.